Today, I'm going to break down how you can succeed in 2026. If goals, resolutions, affirmations, and vision boards worked on their own, you would already have everything that you seek. The failure rate of people who set goals and resolutions are at 92%, and I don't want you to be another failed statistic. So today I'm going to break down how to change the cause so that you can get the effects you desire in your life. This is how you can create the financial abundance you seek, success in business, health, relationships, and more. And the reason goals and resolutions on their own don't work because, first of all, they're coming from a state of lack and wanting, oftentimes even rooted in feeling inadequate. And think about it. When you have goals and resolutions, they're out there in the future. One day, someday, I hope it would be nice. And that's not how life works. Your state creates. Your reality is a reflection of your identity. So today I'm going to help you close that gap, close the separation so that what you want doesn't stay in the future, isn't just a collage on a vision board, and so that you're not another failed statistic. If we start at that premise that your state creates, and it does, and that your reality, so the dollars in your bank account, your current health, the success or lack of in business, your relationship status are all a reflection of your identity, I want you to think of it like this. Your identity, you are the cause of every effect in your life. And your identity is made up of your self-image, your beliefs, your thoughts, your emotional baseline, and the actions that you take. So look at it like this. I've drawn this to show you how your state creates. And your current state, your current identity has created the current results in your life. Now, the reason goals and resolutions fail on their own is because most people are trying to change at the habit level. Habits are at the bottom. Habits are not the cause creating your results. We have to get to the first domino, which are your thoughts and emotions. And it's your thoughts and emotions that then drive your behaviors and create the results in your life. So when you're trying to change only at the habit level, when you're trying to hustle and grind and work harder, you're going against yourself and you're not dealing with the internal resistance. So anytime your thoughts and emotions are in opposition. So for example, if you've set a goal to make more money, to be more successful, to lose weight, there's a gap between where you currently are and that desired future. But this gap is this separation. And when you come from a state of wanting, it means you don't have. And if your state is wanting, you will continue to want and not have. So in order to close that gap and close the separation, you have to understand the identity piece. You don't get what you want in your life, you get what you are. You get a reflection of who you are being. I'm going to break this down, but make sure you're taking notes. So when you have opposition, here's what it looks like. You want financial freedom and abundance, but you feel lack, you feel doubt, you feel worry. Maybe you want a romantic relationship, but you feel unworthy. You want success in business, but you're full of stress, burnout. Maybe you feel like an imposter. And it's that, your thoughts and emotions creating internal chaos, opposition, you're going against each other. And when you have internal chaos, oftentimes stemmed from stress, this internal chaos creates external chaos. So when you're thinking and feeling lack, fear, doubt, worry, you can only experience lack, fear, doubt, worry. So it's not trying to make changes at the habit level. You have to make changes at the state and identity level. And then when you change at the state and identity level, the first domino, your thoughts and emotions, that naturally leads to aligned habits, taking consistent action, moving you forward. And guess what? When these three are all in alignment, the term is coherent. When you have all of this working in tandem, you're working together, you become a powerhouse. And from that state, you create wanted results in your life. This is what you have to do, and this is exactly what I coach my clients through. If you want to fast track where you are and you want to succeed this year in any of those major life buckets, your health, finances, relationships, or business, I invite you to schedule a breakthrough call. You can learn more about my one-on-one coaching by visiting the link below or visiting my website, heatherhakes.com. If you don't change at the state and identity level, you will become another failed statistic. And it's not that you don't have enough motivation. It's not that you're incapable. You're just going to always default back to your internal OS, your operating system. So here's the good news. If you do have goals or aspirations or a vision board, that is actually a step in the right direction because you're giving your mind a clear image, a target. However, remember, when it's out there, future, someday, one day, I want, I don't have, you create that separation. So now let's get into how your state actually creates so that you can get things off of your vision board and you can experience the goals and the dreams that you wish. Because once you understand the mechanics of this, you can have, be, do whatever you want when you're in alignment, when you have that embodied state and identity. I'm going to bring in a quote from Nikola Tesla. And Nikola Tesla said, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So let's get back to your state. Energy, frequency, vibration. Your thoughts and emotional state are creating not only an energetic and chemical, but a neurological pattern, a memorized version of you based on how you're thinking and feeling and the actions you take. And most of this is happening on autopilot. 95% is in your subconscious driving the show. So if you don't get to the subconscious, the operating system, and you don't change your energetic frequency, your state, who you are being, you can't experience the things that you want. So back to his quote, energy, frequency, vibration. You are an energetic being and we live in an energetic universe. Everything you seek, money is just energy. Look at the word currency. The home that you want, the business success, the health, the lover, everything, all of it is energy, frequency, and vibration. And if we bring in a principle of quantum physics called the observer effect, until a potential is observed, now you are the observer of your life. Think about it like this. Whatever you focus on expands. So when you're focused on what's not working, why does it compound and you get more of what's not working? Because that's what you're observing. That's what you're focused on. Life isn't testing you. Life isn't for or against you. Life is neutral. You can only get back what you are putting out. Life is a boomerang. So how you are thinking and feeling creates your own energetic signal. What you are putting out, you can only experience like back. So when we get into the emotional piece of this, when you're living from a state of stress, fear, worry, doubt, and lack, you are putting out stress, fear, worry, doubt, and lack. So no matter how hard you affirm, I am healthy, I am wealthy, your emotional baseline is always going to win. And when you are feeling doubt, fear, worry, lack, but you're affirming, I am healthy, wealthy, that's what's creating that internal resistance because your thoughts and emotional baseline are not in alignment. They're in opposition. So now you're sending out static, you're sending out mixed signals, and that's why you're not getting forward progress. So back to the observer effect. What you focus on, you will experience in your life. Now, if you're focusing on, if you're thinking about the financial freedom and abundance that you seek, and you're feeling worthy, you're feeling grateful, you're feeling certain, and you have confidence, conviction, knowing that when you are thinking, feeling, and acting in alignment, opportunities, money, resources will come your way. That is a completely different state of being versus somebody who is worried, stressed, urgency, needing, and lack. Do you see the differences here? These are different states of being. They are different energetic frequencies. So knowing what you focus on and who you are being broadcast a signal. you can only get back like experiences. So now let's move into how do you make your goals a tangible experience? How do you get that car, the home, the travel off of your vision board and into your reality? How do you manifest the things that you desire in your life? It always, every time, 100% comes down to you, your state of being. Now, here's what I want you to know. This is not fake it till you make it. It's not being delusional, because here's what's going to happen. When you're being delusional, if you're completely broke, but you're like, yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. That's a thought. That's a desire and intention. That's 5% of your mental programming. But 95% of you is that memorized, fear, doubt, worry, broke version of you. Again, that creates opposition and noise, and you will continue to stay stuck. Now, I've spoken with individuals who have been stuck in their current financial status, in relationships, they've plateaued in business generally for years. We're talking 2 to 5. I've even spoken to some for 10 years. If you've been stuck for a prolonged period, there's one cause: your state creates. So getting back to bringing what you want to fruition comes down to who you are being. So the process to use is meditation. Why? Because you calm your nervous system. You get out of future anxiety or dwelling on the past, and you have all of your focus, energy, and intention right here, right now in the present moment. And in a meditative state, when you're in a theta brainwave state, here's what happens. Your conscious mind, which is 5%, and your subconscious, which is 95%. This line right here is your analytical, logical mind. And when you're living in stress, burnout, fight or flight, you're struggling and efforting, you cannot access the subconscious mind, which is your operating system. However, in that theta brainwave state, your analytical, logical mind, think of it like this, the door. So this line, now you can access your subconscious mind because you're in a theta brainwave state. This is self-hypnosis. Napoleon Hill talked about this in Think and Grow Rich, auto-suggestion. This is the only time affirmations could work through repetition and consistency. So when you're in this meditative state, you've dropped into theta brainwave. Now you can use your conscious mind, that new desire, the new potential, using affirmations to impress on your subconscious. However, you have to combine thought and emotion. You have to be thinking and feeling in alignment. And when you are impressing this on your subconscious mind, when you are thinking and feeling abundant, financially free, when you are thinking and feeling as though you're in that loving, committed relationship, when you are thinking and feeling as that confident, successful business owner, you are impressing on your subconscious. You are programming your neural networks to become this identity, that version of you, which means you are upgrading your internal state to be in alignment with your conscious desires. Make sure you're taking notes and watch this again. But in this process, through mental rehearsal and that meditative state, you now override that old version of you, the stress, fear, doubt, worry, and you become that elevated, that next version of you, thinking and feeling in alignment. And when you get up from your meditative state and you act as that version of you, and you don't default back to that old operating system, this becomes your new baseline. This becomes your new identity. And now you are broadcasting a very clear, coherent signal. You are being that version of you now. And your state creates. Now you are a match for the opportunities, resources, and individuals to come your way. This is going to happen in the unknown. You're not going to know how it's going to happen because you trying to make it happen can only come from past experience or how somebody else did it. And that's why you have to drop into the embodiment in a state of certainty, conviction, and knowing. And you don't worry about the how or the when because you know it is inevitable. You know it is done. And from this state of being, what you want becomes inevitable. So the big miss here and why 92% of people fail is because they never get to the root cause. They're not changing identity. They're not changing their state. They're only trying to upgrade from their habits. And then guess what? You're like, you know what? I don't feel like it today. So you start procrastinating. Or you know what? I'll start on Monday. Or maybe it's too hard. So you let that old operating system, that version of you, to keep you stuck where you're currently at because you didn't get to the OS, your operating system. You haven't changed identity to be that version of you who has the wealth, the love, the abundance, and the success that you seek. That's why the idea of manifesting is not magic, it is mechanics. And this is the process you have to put into play. Now, here's what I would offer you. The biggest takeaway you can take from this is number one, get clear on what it is that you want. And more money is not it. It needs to be a specific measurable. What is the dollar amount? If it's you want to lose weight, what's the dress size? How do you want to feel in your body? And especially when it comes to weight, the identity, it becomes a lifestyle. That's why diets don't work. They're a quick fix. You want instant gratification. You didn't gain weight overnight. You're not going to lose it overnight. But if you become the healthy version of you who is living this lifestyle, health is a byproduct. Fitness just becomes who you are. So get clear on what you want. And then more importantly, you have to realize, who do you need to be? What thoughts and emotional states do you need to live from as that default identity? Through this new embodied state, what actions would move you in the direction of where you want to go? When you put this into play, you have the power to experience anything you can align with. Thanks for watching today's video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you're the first to know when new videos drop. And give me a thumbs up. I'll catch you on the next one.